region with Ian Payne and Amy Lee.
Hello there and good evening. Thank you for joining us.
On tonight's programme, local farmers are feeling the heat as the hottest summer on record leaves some crops high and dry.
A major search continues for a 22-year-old soldier who's still missing from Northumberland.
A bittersweet return, why there were mixed emotions as after 10 years, York City were back in the Football League.
And caught on camera, have you taken a stunning snap that would crown you Weather Photographer of the Year?
And first tonight, some farmers in our region are counting the cost of a summer of record-breaking heat. The land is incredibly dry, fields are parched, grass is scarce.
For those working the land, the impact is split across the region, with farmers in North Yorkshire worried what a punishing summer means for the months ahead, while farmers in Northumberland have benefited from the hot, dry summer. Chris Conway reports.
Lush and green during lambing season in February. Fast forward, and now the land on this farm on the edge of the North York moors is anything but. The scorched brown fields, a reminder of the record-breaking hot and dry conditions farmers have faced this summer.
It's not an easy farming at the minute.
Richard is an arable farmer in Husthwaite. With little rain in months, he's brought in his earliest harvest and has been forced to dip into his winter feed early.
Yields were down, probably 3/4 of a tonne down. You know, if you're 200 tonnes less, at 190, 200 pound a tonne, that's quite a bit of money, isn't it? And on the livestock side, I mean, we can just see no grass, so having to supplementary feed, already starting using our winter stocks.
To help farmers, the government says it will provide £65 million of funding to get water to crops, keep livestock fed and build on-farm reservoirs, a move welcomed by the National Farmers Union in our region today.
It's good that the Prime Minister recognises the challenges we have producing the food. He recognises the importance of the food production for the country and food security. It's a start of some actions to support us and help us through this period.
But that tale of weather woe caused by this summer's high temperatures is not one repeated by farmers here in Northumberland. 93 miles north of Husthwaite, on the outskirts of Morpeth, John is harvesting wheat 2 weeks earlier than usual. For him, the dry, warm weather has quite literally allowed him to make hay while the sun shines.
We've been having quite a decent harvest with some very kind weather for us, so our crops are actually quite good. The grass crops earlier in the year were very good, so we've got plenty of silage and hay to feed up through the winter.
If these really hot, dry summers continue in the years ahead, in your mind, that can only be good for business up here?
I don't think we want extremes. Our problems with harvest normally gets too wet and too cold. Whereas this year we've been warm and dry, so it's just been a very easy harvest. It's almost as if Northumberland has been moved 200 miles south and we're enjoying the sort of harvest you'd have in Northamptonshire, not Northumberland.
With farmers at the sharp end of a changing climate, it seems they will continue having to adapt to hot, dry summers, which many predict will be the new norm. Chris Conway, ITV News.
Next tonight, police and mountain rescue teams are continuing their extensive search for a 22-year-old man who's missing from Northumberland.
Liam Potts, who's a serving soldier, was last seen on Wylam Bridge in the early hours on Saturday morning. Amy Sutton is live for us there tonight. Amy, what more can you tell us?
Well, there's still a lot of unanswered questions here this evening, but police have confirmed this evening that they believe Liam Potts has entered the water here at Wylam. The 22-year-old is an active member of the Coldstream Guards after completing his training at Catterick Garrison. Liam played a role in the funeral procession of Queen Elizabeth II and the proclamation of Charles as King. Now, his unit are currently on leave, and out with friends at a nearby pub, and his last sighting was in the early hours of Saturday morning. So this is where the focus of the search has been from yesterday and into today. Mountain rescue teams have been searching in the water, on the riverbanks and flying drones overhead. And we understand the door-to-door inquiries Northumbria Police have been making is to seek doorbell footage. But as we stand here tonight, the search teams have packed up just due to a change in the weather.
Amy, the police have shared a little bit more context as to the events leading up to Liam's last sighting.
That's right, the police have shared that prior to Liam's last known sighting. Officers received reports of a disturbance at a nearby pub. Then a collision here on Wylam Bridge involving a vehicle and a group of pedestrians. A man and a woman in their 20s were both seriously injured, and two people from inside the vehicle fled the scene on foot before the arrival of police. But two men, aged 22 and 23, have been arrested in connection with the incident. They've since been bailed pending further inquiries. But tonight, police have stressed that Liam was on the bridge at the time of the collision, but said he was not an occupant of the vehicle, and there's been no reports suggesting that he was injured after the collision either. Now, they believe he left the scene, which is what sparked the searches for him, and his family are being supported by specialist officers. Now, there's hopes tonight not only for his loved ones, but the people of Wylam and the surrounding areas that answers will come soon.
Indeed. Amy Sutton reporting from Wylam. Amy, thank you. And now to reports that the planned expansion of a gigaplant in Sunderland, which promised around 1,000 jobs, had been shelved after the firm failed to secure a deal to supply the car giant Jaguar Land Rover.
The Chinese-owned AESC site already supplies electric car batteries to its neighbour Nissan in Washington. Our industry correspondent Rachel Bullock sent this report from AESC's site a little earlier on.
Well, it's been 3 years since the total collapse of the British Volt gigaplant up in Blythe. That had promised 3,000 new jobs and to supply the UK with batteries for electric vehicles. Today, here in Sunderland, reports that plans to build a second factory on an existing battery plant's site have been shelved. AESC is Chinese owned and it supplies its neighbour Nissan here. Last year, the then Chancellor Rachel Reeves visited the site to unveil a £1 billion package of public and private funding to expand the site. It would have brought an additional 1,000 jobs to make batteries to power 100,000 electric vehicles every year. Reports are that that expansion has been halted after talks with Jaguar Land Rover to supply their site over in the Midlands fell through. We have approached Jaguar Land Rover for a response. They told us that they cannot comment on private negotiations with suppliers, and AESC themselves are yet to respond to our request. But car industry experts are warning that unless the government shows real commitment to the electric vehicle industry in the UK, then there could be some dire consequences.
There is a very real danger that we miss the boat, and unless we make batteries at scale in the UK, we are not going to have a mass car industry, because batteries are heavy to move around, and car production is going to go to where batteries are made at scale and they can be accessed very easily. So we need to think about, do we want a car industry in the future? If we do, it's going to be electric, and we need to make batteries at scale. This is mission critical for the UK car industry.
Well, just last Friday, the Prime Minister was criticised after announcing a consultation on plans to possibly reduce the number of electric vehicles to just 50% of all new cars by 2030. That's a fall from 80%. He's been criticised for not taking significant action on climate change, particularly in a month when we've seen very serious wildfires. But perhaps more crucially for people here in Sunderland, it's possibly the loss of more investment, the loss of more highly skilled jobs. We will, of course, bring you any update from AESC when we receive it.
Rachel Bullock reporting there. Next tonight, what the Prime Minister described as a shameful crisis in our social care, and the personal invite from a Scarborough care home boss for him to come and see the situation firsthand.
In one of his first speeches as PM, Andy Burnham said he was determined to fix a broken system which left vulnerable people without dignity and ultimately risk the collapse of the NHS.
He's been urged to follow through on that pledge to help the families facing financial disaster in some of their darkest days. Sally Simpson reports now from North Yorkshire.
Enjoying family time in her Scarborough care home, 87-year-old Wendy May has lived with dementia for 20 years. As a resident here since 2020, the life savings she works hard to build up are being eroded to pay her fees. Her daughter-in-law Caroline says it's one of the many difficult aspects of a system which separates medical and social care.
To see all of that go when she's worked so hard and as a single parent to film her husband, her son, it's just devastating. I mean, she really would be absolutely mortified. And it's hard enough to know that your loved one's sick or that hasn't got capacity anymore, but to know that all these decisions have had to be made on behalf of her, and it's things that she would be devastated for, adds that extra sense of burden and responsibility to you as a family member.
Wendy's story is one which features in a social media campaign, which the chairman of the independent care group, Mike Padgham, has launched.
Wendy had to sell everything.
We're paying £1,200 a week for her keep.
So Andy, congratulations on becoming Prime Minister, and I warmly welcome the words you said about social care. The challenge is now to make that happen, of course.
Mike owns several care homes in the Scarborough area and wants to use his decades of experience in the care sector to help bring about change.
Well, I would like him to come and see what the challenges are in social care frontline. He said that he's listening, so I'm hopeful that he will take us up on that. The system is unfair. If you've got a health need, the NHS pay for it. If it's a social care need, such as dementia, then the poor person has to pay for it, and that can't be fair in my book. It should be a health-related need, I think, and that needs to change quickly. I know it costs more as a taxpayer, but I would suggest we all bear the burden of it across the whole taxpayer system, such as the NHS.
It's this impassioned plea from the Prime Minister which Mike hopes he can harness.
It's a major dereliction of public duty that Parliament has not faced up to this, of all challenges, something so fundamental to life as this. It's shameful, to be honest, that politicians have put point scoring before fixing this issue.
Mike Padgham, along with Caroline May and many families like hers, will be watching and waiting to see if the new Prime Minister is as good as his word. Sally Simpson, ITV News, Scarborough.
Well, our political correspondent Tom Sheldrick is live at Westminster for us this evening. And Tom, fixing the social care system is seen as one of the toughest tasks in politics.
Yes, Amy, it's complex, costly and controversial. You may remember Theresa May's planned reforms were dubbed a dementia tax in 2017. Well, Andy Burnham met a similar backlash himself when he was Health Secretary in 2010. And now as Prime Minister, he insists this is a priority, and it is personal for him. His dad has dementia and is in a care home. As for the invite to visit one in Scarborough, he hasn't RSVP'd yet, but the government told us today too many older and disabled people are currently being let down by a broken system, which is why this government is creating a national care service with clear, consistent standards of support for everyone who needs it. It's not clear how that would work or how it would be paid for. It could mean taxes arising. A couple of weeks ago, Andy Burnham held talks with other parties here to try to create a consensus around this. He's also asked for a review to be sped up and report back next year. Then we'll see if he can find a fix for the social care system.
OK, Tom, at Westminster, thank you very much for the latest tonight.
We'll turn to sport now. The Football League is back. The Premier League is on the way.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
So we've got some great action from the opening weekend of the Football League coming up. We're going to start with Simon with transfer business. There's lots happening, isn't there, because the Premier League season is nearly upon us, the start of the new season.
Yeah, a lot. Both Newcastle United and Sunderland are hoping to go big today. The Magpies looked in urgent need of reinforcements during a difficult weekend on the pitch. And last night, Amar Dedic flew into the region to hopefully sign from Benfica for a fee believed to be around £30 million. It's a lot of money, but it makes a lot of sense for Newcastle because the 23-year-old Bosnian defender has played for Magpies head coach Matthias Jaisler before at RB Salzburg. Jaisler saw his Saturday Newcastle team lose 2-1 to Bayer Leverkusen in their St James's Park friendly. Then his Sunday team drew with Strasbourg before losing a fantastically pointless penalty shootout. Next Sunday, the Magpies kick off the season at home to Liverpool with a new-look team, a new head coach, and it really does feel like a new chapter.
Huge challenge, definitely. I mean, you're all smart enough to see that, but what we can do, it's pretty simple. We can do our best every day in, day out, together with the lads we have here. And yeah, again, that's our approach. Yeah, I like this challenge.
There were lots of private jets landing in the northeast last night, as it turns out. French defender Diane Matali was on board another flight. He's hoping to join Sunderland. The Black Cats have been trying to sign the 20-year-old from Toulouse for weeks, and they've now locked the deal down. The 20-year-old flew into the region, as I said last night. He's going to cost around £25 million. On Saturday, Sunderland completed their pre-season programme with a 2-1 win over Stade Rennais. There was a nice moment when former Black Cat Eliza Mayenda, who actually joined Stade Rennais this summer, was pushed forward by his old teammates to take a bow in front of the Sunderland fans. And overall, it was a decent workout before the real thing begins next weekend.
With the Premier League, we start next week to have this idea in our mind. When we are not aggressive, it's hard to impose something. When we are aggressive, it's totally different. I think our second half was good and probably aligned with our standards.
Right, to the Football League, the season's underway, Simon. A memorable opening day for two of our teams. Last gasp winners for Middlesbrough at the top end, York City back in at the bottom end.
Yeah, I mean, I think any win will do on the opening day, won't it? But a late win is always kind of special and satisfying, isn't it? And for very different reasons, it was important that both Borough and the Minstermen got their league campaigns off to a positive start. Borough's season comes with great expectations, and those expectations increase with every new signing. The latest purchase in Middlesbrough's ambitious summer transfer window is Spurs defender Ashley Phillips, and he got a warm Teesside welcome on Saturday. But for a while, the opening day didn't go to plan for Borough. Newly promoted Lincoln stunned the Riverside with a wonderful opening goal from Adam Reach, a former Borough player. But when it comes to new signings, it's starting to look like Middlesbrough have got what they paid for in Will Lancashire. Their new centre-forward scored twice after the break. Both his efforts against Lincoln were poachers' goals, precisely the sort Borough didn't score last season. Credit to Riley McGree for his glorious assist on the winner, but this was Lancashire's day and Borough's opening day victory.
First half it was really, really tough for us, and to be fair, the lads, done a really good finish to put them 1-0 up. But the spirit and the fight that the lads showed was really, really good in the second half, and alongside the fans. For the fans were absolutely excellent in that second half, and really, really pleased to get the win in the end.
York City's crazy summer probably demanded something dramatic like this on the season's opening day. The Minstermen are, in case you'd forgotten, the National League champions who sacked their promotion-winning manager Stuart Maynard for reasons that remain unclear, replacing him with Scott Lindsay, who struggled to get the fans on side so far. But this sort of thing will help. York's first EFL game in more than 10 years ended with a topsy-turvy 3-2 win over Bristol Rovers, which has got the winning goal scorer aiming high.
I feel like that most weeks we're gonna. Our fancy is to win the league. Like, the aim in there is win the league, simple as that. And I feel like everyone watching that today will think we're definitely going to be right up there.
We got a lovely end last year. Then we've had a bit of issues, but that makes it a lot better.
Yeah, great start.
Might end up Championship, Premier League in 10 years, 5 years,
In the National League, there are a few teams aiming to follow in York City's footsteps, and for two of those teams, it's a case of so far so good. Harrogate Town have won 2 out of 2 on their return to this level, and they're top of the table on goal difference. They won 3-1 at Wealdstone. Hartlepool also have 2 wins from 2. Corey McKeown scored the only goal of the game at Aldershot, and Gateshead got their first win at home to Woking, and that made it a very good day for the Lancashire family. Alex Lancashire got Gateshead's first goal in a 2-0 win. He's Will Lancashire's big brother, and we've already shown you what he got up to on Saturday. Well, away from football, a lovely story that proves good things come to those who wait. Golfer Eleanor Gibbons from Darlington had never won a European Tour title, but on Saturday, at the 210th time of asking, the 37-year-old recorded the first victory of her European Tour career. She shot 5 under par final round to win the VP Bank Swiss Ladies Open. In cricket, Durham missed out on a place in the One Day Cup final, but they'll still be thinking about what might have been. They had Middlesex in trouble, chasing a modest target of 255, but Durham let them off the hook, and Middlesex won by 2 wickets. And in Speedway, Redcar Bears captain Charles Wright finished second in the British final, which was live on ITV4. Former Berwick rider Leon Flint was third, and the winner was Robert Lambert, who used to ride for the Newcastle Diamonds.
Simon, thank you very much indeed. Now, they say a picture paints 1,000 words, and this summer the images have been telling a tale of our extreme weather, which, of course, we mentioned at the start of tonight's programme.
If you've caught any of those pictures on your camera, you might want to enter the Royal Meteorological Society's weather photography competition.
Yes, they are looking for pictures, and pictures in particular that tell a story. And it's not just the pictures of the dry, hot weather they're after. Ross can tell us a bit more.
The awesome power of weather. Striking images that capture its beauty and impact around the world. Now into its 11th year, the Royal Meteorological Society's Weather Photographer of the Year competition is looking for amazing pictures that also tell a story.
It helps us to capture those spectacular images. They can be the power of meteorology, so it could be a giant storm, or it may be the sublime gentle fog transitioning down a valley. So through the lens of a camera or your smartphone, you really start to see, I guess, how the world is changing. So we can educate people, we can connect people, but we can learn as we go.
The competition is free to enter and it's open to all. But what are the judges looking for? Good Morning Britain's weather presenter Laura Tobin is on this year's panel and has some advice.
So this is what I'm going to be looking for as a judge. First off, I love symmetry, so that is always a winner. But clouds are a winner too. These are some of my favourites. Outer cumulus castellanas. And if you can get a Kelvin-Helmholtz wave, that would certainly be a winning choice. So get outside, enjoy nature, whatever the weather. Good luck.
Interesting clouds, nature, and a bit of symmetry. Well, that sounds a lot like the photos we get sent. Could our region have an award winner? We really appreciate your photos for our weather forecasts. And if you've never sent one in to us, what's stopping you? Taking a weather photo is simple. You don't need any specialist equipment, just your phone will do. But remember, landscape is best, and the higher resolution, the better. We love every kind of weather, so drops of rain are just as interesting as stunning blue skies. We are surrounded by some outstanding views here in the region, but if you've not got rolling hills or crashing waves on your doorstep, what about a close-up of some crab apples or even a butterfly? And if you do want your photo to feature on the weather, remember we stand on the left, so keep the best details on the right, and don't forget to include your name and the location of where the picture was taken. If you want to send us a photo, you can email weatherpics@itv.com. And if you are particularly proud of it, there is still time to submit it to the Weather Photographer of the Year competition. Entries for that close on Thursday.
Some cracking pictures on show there. There'll be loads out there that are just as good, if not better. That one where you walked into the photo yourself was very clever. That
I will now be taking questions on how I achieved such a wonderful piece of
How do you do such magic? So anyone, it's open to anyone can enter.
Anyone, you don't need any specialist equipment, and you can go back 5 years through your archive of weather photos as well.
Sounds
and
good.
I'd say our region has some of the most amazing places to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very simple. You can head to this website here if you do have a weather photo that suits our mets.org/weather photographer of the year. 3 categories: weather photographer, funnily enough, mobile weather photography, so again using your phone, and the climate award for images that best tell a compelling story about climate change and the impacts. The story at the moment for us, I have to say, is the cloud increasing and a bit of rain arriving. which is much needed for many because, of course, we have had some very dry, very warm weather, things getting back to normal. I think this is the sort of summer we would just complain, so typical British summer.
I've already heard people say, oh, summer's over now, that's it, isn't it?
Do you know what? If it is, that's fine, because today...
I'm with you, actually. I'm
that
okay
version
with
of summer, because today we got up to around 20 degrees. That's normal. We had some sunny spells. That's normal. We had a bit of rain. Do you know what? That's meant to be normal.
What used to be normal.
It just hasn't been recently. Will it go back to normal even more? Let's take a look at the forecast.
Midday Mayan temples, followed by sunny afternoons on the sand. TUI sponsors ITV Tyne's weather.
The cloud is thickening, the rain is starting to arrive from the west. Some heavy bursts in there. It's with us for a few hours, still much needed. It has been incredibly dry, of course, recently through the last few weeks. We're well down on rainfall. Into tomorrow, plenty of clouds around, a scattering of showers. It is going to stay unsettled through the next few days, but still for now, in the sunshine, temperatures holding up where they should be at this point in August. There's tonight's rain there. It's only a few hours. It clears away quite quickly, but low pressure is lingering nearby, and around that we have further showers, sometimes merging together, forming longer spells of rain. And then towards the end of the week, as that pulls away towards the east, we're opening up this flow from the north. We actually end the week with a fresher feel. Temperatures for the first time in a while, a bit low for the time of year. So the rain's starting to roll through. As we make our way past around 10, 11 o'clock, pretty much all the regions getting it. We're going to see the odd heavier burst. By around 2, 3 in the morning, most of that has cleared away. It's drying up into the early hours. Still a lot of clouds around. There's some murkiness, some low cloud, certainly over higher ground. Temperatures for now holding up around 15 or 16 degrees. So mild start into tomorrow morning, but there is plenty of cloud. Now, the feed is still coming in from the west as we head through tomorrow. So actually we're well placed to see the brighter skies and the sunny spells as the higher ground, the Pennines, does filter out a lot of the lower clouds, a lot of the showers. Temperatures still at around 20, maybe 21 degrees. To Tuesday into Wednesday, still the low pressure nearby, so still this changeable feel, still the flow coming in from the west. We're talking showers just making it over the higher ground, but still plenty of brighter breaks to be had. Holding on to the sunny spells as we look towards Thursday and Friday as well, but we are seeing that change in wind direction, highs on Friday of just 16.
TUI sponsors ITV Tyne's weather.
Thank you, Ross. In just a moment, it's the national and international news.
I'll be back here tonight with a late update for you at 10:30. Hope to see you then. We will all see you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.